Hey, if you take nothing else from me today, take this. The reason why you keep falling into the old patterns isn't because you're lazy. It's because we're skipping the step one, and the step one is to acknowledge. Welcome back to Coach Your Mindset. My name is Paulina. Last week we spoke about how the self-discovery is important and how is becoming aware of who we are. It's quite important part of our journey. I think the more I discover about my habits, my patterns, my behaviors, my reactions, the more I knew what was going on with me, the more I could learn from different situations, and I could step in more into the balance. And I think that's what we are aiming. Let's not forget that being a human is a challenge, and it's not that we can always be in control. But what we're learning here is to be more in tune with ourselves. Okay, so so today we are going to be focusing on the aware method. It's a aware method which, for me, it helps me to kind of put into the perspective of what each step is combining and containing in order for me to get to know myself better. And the first letter of the aware is A, and that is going to be stand for us as acknowledge. Because if you don't get this first step right, we can kind of forget about the other four because it's impossible without the first step. Okay, so what is acknowledge? It's simply acknowledge is simply this: naming what's true right now, without fixing it, without judging it, without trying to change it, without running from it. So most of us, instead, when we feel anxious, we immediately go into the feeling, oh, I shouldn't feel like that, or I try to put myself out of it by focusing on something else. When we feel urged to scroll, we just scroll. When we snap on someone, we either ignore it or we feel guilty for it. And to be honest with you, if we think about this from that perspective, that is autopilot. The truth is, if I feel anxious or I feel triggered, or if I scroll down the phone and if I don't acknowledge that I do it, then I'm running on autopilot. So everything what I do without actual acknowledgement of it is running my life. So that is, for me, in my perspective, autopilot. Okay. So what happens when we acknowledge? So, for example, if I feel anxious, I acknowledge that I feel anxious. If I feel the urge to check my phone, I acknowledge the urge to check my phone. We're not making any changes yet. What we do, we try to acknowledge when we do it, okay? Or if I'm noticing that I feel hurt, it's neutral acknowledgement, it's factual, and it's present. What does acknowledge helps us with? Is helping us to remain more present, okay? That's the truth. That's what we want to do. It's by acknowledging what we do, how we feel, how we behave. It's kind of helping us to understand that there is a part of me which running on autopilot. And the only way of coming out of the autopilot is to acknowledge what I'm doing in the moment, right? So we're going to have three ways of how to practice it, okay? So what are you going to do? Next time, when you're going to feel something, you're going to say, I'm noticing, let's say, I felt angry or I felt anxious. Say it to your voice, say it loud to yourself. I'm noticing I'm feeling angry. Okay. Or I'm noticing that I'm going back to my phone. I'm taking it automatically. And then write it down. Right now, I feel, and write down what you feel in that moment. So, for example, if I notice that I'm anxious, normally what I used to do, I would probably try to say to myself, why am I doing this? Why am I feeling like that? So I need to notice what I do when I feel anxious. Am I adding to that anxiety? Or when I'm frustrated, am I adding to that frustration? What is my automatic response when I notice something? What do I do? Right? Do you get me? It's a kind of like we're not making any changes yet. This week is really all about acknowledging what we do and how we respond to it. What do we do about it? Right? So why do we skip acknowledgement? Right? Because it feels too simple and because it's uncomfortable. Because by the end of the day, if I skip this moment of acknowledgement, then I'm running on autopilot. Then I'm automatically not knowing what's going on. But then within next few days, this coming back to me anyway, it's affecting me. It's affecting how I feel. It's affecting what I do, right? So if I acknowledge I'm procrastinating, that I have to look at why, right? If I acknowledge that I do something, then I need to do something about it. And I think that's why we skip it. I think that's why I have been skipping it before. Because the truth is that if I let myself go around it, then I cannot see why I do it, right? Let's say if I acknowledge I'm jealous, then I have to feel it, right? If I if I acknowledge something, I have to feel it. There is no other way, right? And I think that's why we skip it, right? But the truth is that we cannot and you cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot change and we cannot change what we refuse to acknowledge. That's quite strong, right? If we think about this in that way. That's why it's important. We can't really run away from it, right? It comes back to us in the night, the intrusive thoughts, overthinking, everything what happens in our head is there for reason, right? Mm. Pretending the problem isn't there doesn't make it go away. It just makes you fight it in a secret for the next 3 days, right? So if I pretend that it's not there, it will chase me anyway, right? It will be chasing me. It's just the way it is. And it will be running my scenario for the next few days. And that's the truth. No matter what we do, it will affect us, right? So that's why acknowledgement can make a change to start with. Massive change. So the acknowledge is simply the moment where pretending the problem isn't there doesn't make it go away, right? So acknowledge is the moment you stop fighting yourself, right? It's like the reality of it is that the discovery, what we do here is what we want to learn here is how to stop fighting within ourselves, how to not to be on autopilot. It's not about by changing it, but it's by acknowledging what we do. We cannot change something we don't see, we can't see. But once we see it, we can't unseen it. That's why it's quite good first stage of the awareness method, right? But it's also more than that. In the next video, I will show you how acknowledge is literally the door to becoming observer. Okay. And I will give you a real life example, right? And we're going to be connecting acknowledgement with an observer because the observer is the one who notices and the one who doesn't judge. So it's good. It would be nice to see. Can you check in next week how you actually, when you acknowledge, how you respond to that acknowledgement? Do you judge yourself? Do you critique yourself? Right? Your homework to practice. I'm noticing. So start to pay attention to what you're noticing. And maybe if you want, comment below what you're noticing in that week, because that will be good. And that's what we're all skipping, is that phrase of acknowledgement. And I'm very excited about this journey because I know that this has helped me to become more aware. And I think discovering myself, discovering my weakness, my strength, is the good way of self-discovery. And becoming aware, it helps us to stop struggling. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to the next week. We will be having videos every Tuesday. So come with us. come with us to that journey, embark to that journey with us, subscribe if I resonate with you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see you next week. Sending lots of love. Be good.